Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. This is Aluminum Tarot. I'm going to be bringing to you today the reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of February 2026. And since this is the month of love, we're going to go ahead and read some love readings for this. I know I had to drag myself into being able to do this because I do want to kind of diversify my ability to read tarot card readings, even though I do enjoy reading specifically for clients or people who are, asking me, one-to-one about their love life. However, I tend to get the same kind of questions, which is one of the reasons why I'm a bit put off by these love readings. But for the spirit of Valentine's Day, I'm going to go ahead and do a love reading for you. Give you the general energies as to what's going to be guiding your love life at this time, what kind of things or energies are going to be taking place. And we're just doing this to understand what's taking place in your love life, and not specifically who's coming in, but what you need to focus on with your love life, and that's going to be key. Anyways, without further ado, if you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like to, give a little monetary donation, feel free to do that at the PayPal link in the description box below. That said, Cancer, you're up. We're going to read for you. Keep this very short, succinct, and to the point. Now, first off, I can't show those things because those things are for adults only. We have the star. You kind of get it because we are reading the Rider-Waite tarot. You can go ahead and Google that and see what that looks like. But the nakedness is about vulnerability. It's about being open to the universe and being stripped bare of everything that has left you from the tower that has taken place before in card number, I think it's card 16. Card 17 is the star. In the reverse, it shows us a feeling of intense hopelessness or aimlessness or rudderlessness. And without that guidance system, that's going to help you to heal and get past all the destruction of the tower. It makes you feel like you're kind of in a period of isolation, a bit of darkness. That's what I'm kind of getting in my mind. Like I see just darkness that you're enveloped in your romantic life. What's clarifying this, I believe it was the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles also tells us that you want to kind of keep things at a very detached surface level, approach, for the simple reason that you may have gotten your heart broken quite a bit. You may see the dating life or the dating scene as a bit of a hopeless, cesspit of people looking out for their own interests, which it is. You might be right on the nose about that for the majority of people. It can deliver some good gems here and there, but we're not going to get into that at this particular point in time. This is all about you, Cancer. So what we have here is a feeling of hopelessness, a desire to just approach love and relationships on a very shallow, superficial, and pragmatic level. I don't even see here the desire to really get into a sex-based connection. It's just like, I'm done. I do not feel like messing about with these people, because what we see here is the Ace of Wands in the reverse. Either A, your love options are not really there. You might be sexually a bit, put off by a lot of the people. You may have not had any opportunities for sexual activity with others. And it just may be overall, every time you get into a relationship, it has this horrible feeling of a false start, where you're essentially giving a lot in the beginning, and then also those people that you give to then detach themselves, and then the relationship dissolves way before it becomes a thing. So, in the recent past, this may have happened. You have the Temperance card, which is a card of healing, patience, and understanding, experimentation. But with this, with the Eight of Wands clarifying that, what we see here is a person who is having a very tricky time communicating to someone because maybe they have been blocked, they've had to block someone, and take some time to themselves to heal. And so if for the last, major relationship that you had, major attempt at a relationship, you may have found that the people that you were working with were not necessarily the most scrupulous of people. They may have I'm going to say, yeah, they could have broken your heart. They may have made you feel like this, which is at the bottom of the deck, Page of Cups in the reverse. Not really feeling like you want to open your heart or communicate to people. Tell me a little bit more about the recent past. Yeah, there are more and more cards that evidence that you have been taking a pause, trying to get yourself to the other shore of this difficult battlefield that is the modern day, dating landscape. And so for you, it makes me seem like you may have been doing this online. So, for example, the Eight of Wands in the reverse talks about a time in which you've had to block someone, stop communicating with them, stop speaking to them, or even you may not have had any matches reciprocating your communication with you. And so, in doing that, you've had to basically cut things off. And then you're trying to get to a place where you can heal and go from the Five of Swords to the other shore. So, in doing that, this will put you in a much better place to approach things mentally, because this is in the mental sphere. These people here have gotten on this boat and they are essentially taking only the things on their back in order to get to this place of calm and of rest. So if you've had to endure that, if you've had to face that in your specific life, that can be a very tricky thing. But of course, it requires a minimalist approach where you cannot take all the baggage from the past and you have to take this, what you have now, that's the most important, to the future. Now, I see you going through more of that, probably at this particular point in time now. What you are dealing with after this heartbreak, after this difficult process, you have the Three of Swords, and then you also have the Ten of Wands that is evidencing that, or elaborating on that a bit. So what it tells me is that the feelings of pain and betrayal and sadness and third parties has gotten to a point where it's so difficult that it is laying a burden on your heart. So this is something fresh, something very recent. And I feel that for you, you may have been struggling to go through the process. Jesus Christ, mate. Like, more evidence shows that, where it's the Five of Swords. And we just talked about the Five of Swords. You're leaving the Five of Swords, but it seems like for you, you're going back into the Five of Swords. So I'm asking myself the question here. Are you giving yourself the time to move away from the dating scene and just kind of sit in your own space to process everything? Or are you getting back out into the dating scene repeatedly, only to eat the same vomit that you have left on the floor just 20 minutes ago? And that may be a very disgusting depiction, but, there is the old phrase, the old maxim, as a dog to its vomit, so does a fool to its own folly. And don't be that fool, and don't play or deal with fools. Now, we don't have the fool itself, but I'm getting a very strong fool energy based on this. I'm going to clarify this with one more card, just kind of see what's going on here. So, oh God, this is flying all over the place. We have Justice. And I just remember speaking to Leo about this. So if you're a Leo Cancer, if you have been dealing with this situation, this scenario, in which you have not allowed yourself to the space to reflect on the karmic consequences of your own actions, and the ability to reflect not just on the other person's side, the person who may have betrayed you, but on your side as well. What were my actions leading up to the point in which I got absolutely screwed over by this individual, and what can I do to to break this cycle? Because here, what you should be doing, rather than getting involved into relationships, you need to start rejecting some people, so that way when you receive the right offer, it will be one that is helpful and conducive and friendlier to you, rather than someone who's going to use you for sex, for example. As they have said on the on the manosphere community, the screw, nut, and bolt. They screw you, they nut, and then they bolt. I don't want to go too many details about that, but of course you get the idea. You have a creative imagination; you can use it to your own discretion. That said, we're moving on to the last bit. We're going to talk about the Empress in the reverse. That's in the near future, clarified by the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, with these two cards, what I initially get intuitively is that you have the Empress in the reverse, which is being in a period where you have feelings of low self-worth, feelings that your love life is not expanded, has not taken off and gone to the places in which you need it to go. You yourself don't feel abundant. You're having difficulties processing this, and this makes you not want to invest in the dating scene altogether. I'm going to pull one more card because this is a pretty heavy reading here. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. A lot of swords energy in each of the different readings. You have the 6, then the 3 to the 9. So these are your Fibonacci sequence of pain and torment, mental anguish that you've been going through. You have the 6 in the beginning, that curled to the 3, and then that's curled back to the 9. So now you're kind of moving in this loop. That's what I kind of see here. And number 3 is also related to the Empress, which the Empress is card number 3. And this is kind of like a divine kind of pattern that takes place in the Fibonacci sequence, of course, using pi, which starts with 3, 314, blah, 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 blah. This is a number that is a divine number that takes place in the creation of all things. So in looking at this, what I see is that there is a cycle that is a divine cycle that is actually purposely jabbing you into turning this Empress back into its rightful position, which is right side up. And until you notice the patterns in your dating history, you will not be able to ascertain what it is specifically that the divine wants you to do. And additionally, the pitfalls that you can avoid in order to get into a healthier relationship, which means that you have to cultivate a healthy relationship to yourself. The Empress does not chase. The Empress does not seek relationships that are detrimental to its future and all of its investments. And furthermore, the Empress does not negate her self-worth, does not, brush off her self-worth. Clarify this once more. There. You need to get into this energy. This is going to be the energy that helps you to break the cycle. Getting into a situation in which you say to yourself, I've done the inner work, I've gone in, I've healed, I've gone through the 8 of Cups, leaving everything behind. Getting into the 9 of Cups, which is all about the individual self. Number 9s are individual selves. 9 of Swords is about being overwhelmed, as you had in this reading here. 9 of Wands is about being on the defense, but knowing that you have to push yourself to get to the 10 of Wands and overcome this bit of a slog that you've had to deal or face with. 9 of Pentacles is about being financially independent, not needing anyone else. And that's this energy that you need to step into in the emotional realm as well. So that is the 9 of Cups tells you that I don't need to depend on other people for my happiness. I need to stop running in these fucking streets, looking for someone who's going to make me feel good for the time being, and go home and take a nice, healthy shower, possibly get some antibiotics from whatever the hell those streets have given you. I'm not saying it has to be sexually, but, give yourself a good scrub down and think about what it is that's going to allow you to be happy, confident, and secure in your emotional state before you collect that 10 of Cups, which is going to be your new life, your new family, your legacy, things of that nature, which will in turn lead to your genuine happiness, the completion of the cycle. Because with this energy in the near future, if you don't do that, what's going to happen is that you're going to get into a place of utter despondency in your love life and dealing with a lot of these false stops, these false steps here, these false starts and stops. Sorry about that. I'm getting my words tied up. But it's important that you recognize that you do play a part in this. And it takes 2 to tango. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4, depending on if you are the average, YouTube tarot reader, or if you're Bonnie Blue from, Knots. And that is going to make everything determine your level of success in the near future. Hopefully for the next Valentine's Day, you will be able to be in a solid, healthy relationship if that's what you so seek. Now, the people that you're dealing with is, the Kipper card that came out for that is a funeral. So you have the card 19. 19 is 1 plus 9. The individual plus the number 9, which is all about near completion. So what we have here, I'm almost getting this energy here, like number 1 is the sun. That is the self, the realization of self and the emanation of self. Number 9 is Mars. That's the last effort you have to do in order to get to number 10, which is the sun again. And for you, I kind of feel like you felt like you've been going through a lot of battles, which is leading to this funeral, which needs to take place. Now, in a funeral, what I explained, I believe it was to Leo, who had this card as well. And it was about celebrating the loss of something, going through the mourning process, being able to feel those emotions, get through them, and then finally deliver this and lay it to rest. So that way you can have a new life, a new cycle that's going to allow you to get to the happy, healthy, reciprocal, not codependent relationship that you so deserve. And what you're going to need to do in order for this to take place is before you connect with people, connect with yourself. This is one of the single most overlooked relationships that people fail to indulge in the modern world. And that is specifically knowing how you feel, getting in touch with your emotions, getting in touch with your strengths and weaknesses, like doing what we call a SWOT analysis when it comes to, project management and stuff like that. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses in romance? What are the what are the opportunities? What are the threats? What is it that you can logically see and look at in your love life that leads you to the cyclic issue, which is what I just spoke about with Capricorn. So if you have Capricorn in your chart too, that might be of some use. Understand what that is, and then finally attack it from a logical and planned point of view with intention. So you can date with intention, not just throw yourself at the next person who shows you attention. Date with, and this is something I might make a slogan or a maximum myself, date with intention, not for attention. Now I'll say it again. Date with intention, not for attention. And if you can do that, I think you'll find that your relationships will be a lot easier to deal with, because you'll be able to say, no, I'm cutting this off. This isn't good for me. Or yes, I can give to this. I can invest my energy in this. Now, the oracle message from the Guides of the Hidden Realms oracle is about gratitude is dreaming. And what this tells us is we have to look at the manifesting power of gratitude and the law of praise. And this isn't just externalizing that and giving that to someone else, but it is about showing that to yourself. Until you have a strong sense of self-worth, which is why this Empress is in the reverse, you will not be able at all to enter a partnership that reflects a positive and healthy environment. You will always seek people to help you to recreate, and to reflect those feelings of worthlessness and these things that you tell yourself that obfuscate your sense of worth. And so going into that, the best way that you can overcome that is start doing things. All the energy that you spend giving to someone who is not going to be the right partner for you, who's not going to be the best person for you, give that to yourself. You are showing yourself gratitude. Thank you for taking the steps to get out of those failed relationships. Thank you for treating yourself with respect and love and honor. Praise yourself for the good things that you do. I accomplished this today. This is a great thing. Thank you. We've made it. And by doing that, that's how you're going to manifest something and someone a lot healthier in your life, who is going to be able to reflect how you feel about yourself. Remember, with all the fucked up things that we see in the dating scene today, it is specifically due to the fact that there is a lack of self-love for most of the people who entertain the dating scene. It's not about the number of bodies that you have. It is about the way you feel on the inside. And the number of people that you sleep with, or that you get all these compliments from, the followers on TikTok, all of that is superficial bullshit that essentially has become front and center for the dating community to date. And these are all illusions. These are the things we need to wipe out. We need to get back to a period where we can say to ourselves, I will treat myself with the love, the respect, and the courage that people have failed to show me in my life. Because the reason why I've attracted these people, and this is something I've had to tell myself on a very more severe, harsher way of saying. When I looked at my life and I said to myself, why do these same types of women keep coming in? It's because of a level of codependency that I had. I was afraid of cutting things off before they got to a point. And, lo and behold, when I did get to the point where I said, okay, no more, I'm going to step back. I'm going to give myself the love, attention, the things that I deserve. I'm going to take myself out on dates. I'm going to go indulge in the hobbies that I enjoy doing. I'm still doing that today. I just got a drum kit. I don't know if you can see it back here, because I love to play music. And additionally, I'm going to start focusing on doing the things that matter for myself. I got into motorbike riding, getting back into music now, doing this YouTube channel to at least see if I can spread the message to others. And as best as I can, live every day according to divine law and the laws that I have set for myself. And in doing so, show myself that I can live a life that does not require an external being other than spirit. Well, the spirit is also pervasive being. It's in us, it's outside of us. But it is important to live a life that does not demand an external entity that is willing to be a detrimental effect on our lives. It is about telling ourselves that we can do as good, if not better, with the love that we provide ourselves, rather than get into a relationship where we keep getting treated like shit by people who we are vying for their attention, because for some reason we didn't work out some things that were childhood traumas or childhood conditionings that we never really thought was a problem. I'm getting massive dry throat right now. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's been enough, because we're at over 20, we're nearly 24 minutes. But thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I hope this has been of some help for you, Cancer, today. This has been Aluminum Tarot, reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the lovey-dovey month of February. And fortunately, it's the shortest month of the year. And additionally, we can spread that love 365, right? So anyways, thank you very much. Until next time, love and light. Take care now.